Hey guys, FH here, and I'm going to talk about the MK Platypusher today. Let's give you my overall impressions after riding this for about 1,500 kilometers, taking part in the Dutch Ultra with this board. Now, the MK Platypusher is a composite carbon fiber board designed with the slimmest nose profile with a 12 degrees wedge with a 4 centimeter drop. Now, in addition, it also has a built-in tail that has a roughly about 3.5 centimeter drop, designed specifically for her MK axle bushing truck at the rear. The benefit of this, it looks really close to the Pantheon Supersonic. You can get that extreme low ride height without any hardware sticking out the bottom like a bracket board. Now you can see for comparison on a bracket board with a fork, you can see that while I can get the ride height pretty low, I still have a ton of hardware sticking out at the bottom that could catch on rocks and speed bumps. Also the same thing for the rear as well. So the Platypusher's advantage is really just eliminating all that fuss about having hardware right at the bottom. For pushing, this board has a slightly stiffer flex than the MK Banana. I'll say it's somewhere in between a carbon fiber and a fiberglass flex. It's not too trampoline, yet not too stiff. Actually, I feel like it's a really nice sweet spot for pushing. I think aside from the big massive clearance for the front truck, because you can set this board up so low to about 4.5 centimeter ride off from the board bottom, you can get an extremely stable pushing platform. So during the Dutch Ultra in 2025, I was so tired at the 16 to 18 hour mark, and yet I was able to push relatively confidently and not slip up, just how low and stable this board is. So I think that's another great benefit of having an extremely low board. Now for pumping, there's no torsional flex. The board doesn't twist when you pump. The energy transfer is extremely direct to the rear and in the front. You also have a really great concave, tub cave board profile in the platform, keeping your feet really locked in and comfortable throughout the ride. Now, what's the best reason to get this board? If you are a pusher that likes pushing with huge wheels, like 90 to 100 mm, and you want to get the lowest ride height without any drama of wheel wells or wheel bite, but still have the option to pump fast with a 0 degree rear, then this is the board to get. Also, if you want to reduce the chances of failures in your brackets and forks, the Platypusher's integrated nose and tail does reduce that possibility. With the M5 screwing mounts on the, you can also have the option to mount fenders when the conditions get wet, or any additional bike lights, accessories as you desire, or even handles. I think for me, the great thing about having the options for fenders is I can still have the similar pushing and pumping characteristics with or without the fenders on. I think, for example, some guys go into Dutch Ultras or Ultraskates with an additional rain board. Like with the fenders detachable, you can just bring one board to the event. Alright, for reasons not to get this board, I think the first one would be the lack of tinkering options, especially for the rear. This is specifically designed for the axle rear bushing truck. Now, I think that truck runs great, but because of the specific design for it, for those who may want to tinker with a non-zero truck, like utilize some of the truck they have in their arsenal, will find this extremely limited. So for those who want to venture into some additional tinkering for the rear, I think you will find that this board is definitely not meant for you. I think the next reason why you wouldn't want to get this board is purely for the length. Now, actually got Lena to cut this tail slightly shorter so it could fit into my longboard check-in bag. Now, unlike like a 27-inch bracket board like the MK Ascension, which I could just throw into my check-in luggage after disassembling the brackets, you can't do the same thing with the Platypusher. So a dedicated bag would definitely be needed if you're flying in for events. And I think the biggest elephant in the room with regards to this board will be the price. At about 800 euros for this board, you can get 3 Super Dupersonic completes from Pantheon. The one comment I keep getting on Facebook regarding to this board is just how expensive it is. I think that brings me to the point about how much should a longboard cost. And for discussion wise, if we consider the cost of a mass-produced board, a composite one in the market, the Platypusher is definitely out there on the rightmost extreme of the price range. But let's not forget that there are also price variants in other sports like racing or mountain bikes. You will have your entry-level to mid-level bikes. Then you have those like crazy setups, bikes that are tailored to your weight, height, your body dimensions for optimal performance. So likewise, I think we need to not forget that for MK boards, these are all customized boards for your flex and for your weight. You won't find a lower board with a narrow neck out there in the market today. So in summary, I would consider the Platypusher a master-crafted supersonic. It will give you the best and lowest push ride, allows you to fit in the largest wheels, and it will also give you the option to pump. It won't be the fastest pumping board compared to maybe other bracket boards with a torsion tail, but you're going to be pumping fast nonetheless. And I think this board with Lena's craftsmanship, you're going to get at least 2,000 to 3,000 kilometers on it. And you're going to be assured that this board will remain reliable for much longer than any other board out there in the market. So with that comes to the end of my video. I hope you like it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you.